Oh.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Oh, hey. PlayStation Classic. So... So you might have seen our video of the SNES Classic unboxing. Today we're going to do a unboxing of the PlayStation Classic. Also got my PlayStation 1, my original PlayStation 1 out to compare. I don't have the one that looks like this, the original. So it has like 20 games preloaded on it. 20 incredible games that define the era. Should we read the contents? Alright, let's unbox it. You ready? Spin it. It spins good. Spin factor. Pretty good. Let's see if we can open it without breaking it. Let's get these fancy flaps. Gotta show off the flaps.
I believe I can fly.
Side of that, we have another box. Extra crinkle in for you. So there's the system. It's pretty small. I would say that it's pretty similar to a Super Nintendo cartridge. Pretty much the same. Pretty close.
Wow.
The next thing we gotta compare it to is a PlayStation keychain. I'd say this one's smaller. So this is weird. Pro tip to open this. There's a little tabs. You open them like that.
I knew she was gonna do it. Come on, get down.
Get out of here.
Go on. You're fine.
You just lift this thing out of here. Like that. If you didn't know how to open a box. Cables. It doesn't come with a AC adapter. It says that right here. No AC adapter. So I think I'm going to try to use my Super Nintendo or NES Classic adapter. They'll probably work fine, I would imagine. So the next thing in here is the controllers. Got one controller. And two controllers. So it is nice that they included two controllers. I wish they would have included the AC adapter, but now Elliot and I can play together, so that'll be cool. So I feel like this one looks a little smaller. I don't know if it's just because of missing the dual analogs, but I feel like overall it looks a little smaller. But I think I don't know if I actually ever had one of these, so I don't know if they were really smaller or not. But it feels nice. It's a little light, doesn't have like rumble or the analogs or anything like that, but I think that's alright. The plugs are kind of cool, I think, because they're USB, but they kind of look like the old plug. And when you plug them into the front of the system, like when they're actually plugged in, you really can't even tell that it's like a USB cable. I kind of wonder if you could plug it into your computer and use it. That would be kind of cool, just to have another PC controller to use. There's a few buttons. So we've got an open, and it actually works. It doesn't open it like the actual PlayStation did, but it is a button. And then there's a power button and a reset button. I think this probably takes you back to the menu or something to change games and that kind of thing. And obviously you know what power and reset do. Then on the back we have a USB and a HDMI plug. So to compare it with my PlayStation, so here's size comparison. Pretty, kind of, it's close, but this one's definitely a little bigger, but similar. Looks pretty cool. I think first impressions, it looks about the same size as the NES and Super Nintendo Classics. I think it'll kind of sit on the shelf nicely with those. I think I'm most excited to try, I don't know, maybe Resident Evil or Metal Gear, I would say. It'd be cool to play those again. Seems like it has a pretty good selection of games. I like the overall build of everything. Everything looks pretty similar to the original. The controllers feel pretty authentic. What?
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
That was so slow. It's like...
I figured I'd try some out with Elliot and maybe have Mandy play a few. And kind of give you just a quick review on some of our favorite games. Check out that sweet startup screen. So the menu is pretty basic. It gets the job done, but it is not pretty. The settings are pretty minimal too. Each game does include resume points, so you can continue where you left off. So the first game that I tried out was
Resident Evil.
It pretty much ran like
Resident Evil.
I didn't notice any weird hiccups or anything like that. I know some of the games are the PAL versions instead of the NTSC versions, and I believe Resident Evil is one of those. I've played Resident Evil quite a bit, and I didn't really notice the issue, but I wasn't comparing them side by side. It also includes all of the classic voice acting of Resident Evil.
Stop it! Don't open that door! Wow, what a mansion!
Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Check out this sweet door opening animation. I also tried out Final Fantasy VII. I wanted to see how all the cutscenes held up and if there was any weird glitches there. But everything seemed to run fine. I've never actually finished Final Fantasy VII. I've played about halfway through. This might give me a good opportunity to go back to this game and finally beat it. I also tested out Oddworld. I've played the intro section to this game probably about 100 times, but I've never actually sat down and played through the full game. This is one that I might actually try to go through and play on this system. It does seem like an interesting concept. It's kind of like a slow-paced platformer mixed with a puzzle game, so this might be a fun one to go back to. I was actually pretty surprised by Ridge Racer 4. For a PlayStation 1 game, the graphics were actually pretty nice, and it reminded me how fun Ridge Racer is to play. It kind of makes me want to break out my PS3 and play Ridge Racer 7 again. Elliot and I also played split screen for a little while. I was surprised at how easy this game is to control, so he did pretty good. So one of the games that I did notice some graphical issues was Grand Theft Auto. I know this is one of the European games on the system. It has been a while since I've played this game. I don't know if the graphical issues were because of that, or if that's just how the game was, but it seemed to run a little sluggish. So I've never actually played any of the Puzzle Fighter games, so I was really interested to try out Super Puzzle Fighter 2. It kind of reminds me of Tetris Attack. It's a puzzle game, but when you do something on your side, it ends up adding something to your opponent's side. It kind of like simulates a fighting game. Mandy really likes puzzle games, so this might actually be a good one to try out with her. And Elliot likes Street Fighter, so maybe we can do a turn in it. The graphics in Rayman really surprised me. For a 2D platformer on PS1, I wasn't really expecting much, but it's actually a really nice looking game. And you can really see where the new Rayman graphic style comes from. Tekken was another one of the European games on the console, and from what I've heard, it runs slower. I'm not really a Tekken guy, so I didn't really know what I was looking for. I did notice a few times where it seemed like it was running in slow motion, but I'm not sure if that's just the game or an emulation issue. I was surprised at how much fun I had playing it though.
Round 1. Fight.
The final game that I tried out was Metal Gear Solid. I've played this game a lot on all the different systems it's been released on, and it seemed to run just fine. The only thing that was a little weird is playing it with the D-pad. I've grown accustomed to playing it with the analog sticks, but despite that, it seemed like I could play the game just fine. So I didn't try out all 20 games yet, I just sampled about half of them. Overall, I think most of the games run fairly well. I feel like I didn't notice as much of the issues with the European games as I've read. It might just be that I'm not as familiar with some of those games though. And I also wasn't comparing them side by side. There definitely are a few games on here that I would really like to go back to. And I'd really like to go back and try to finish Final Fantasy VII.
Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to hit the like button, and if you want to see more super adventures, click the subscribe button.
Snake! What happened? Snake! Snake!